And the problem is, opponents of science don't really dig very deep into the data. And this is where you have a problem in expressing dissatisfaction with somebody's work, because you have to get into the process of science. Hey, we're not sure what's happening right now. That kind of admission that no scientist wants to make. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to, people have to understand before you approach them with some sort of, contra argument to what's prevalent. They have to understand a little bit about the process of science, and getting across the process of science, I don't think has ever been done very well.
Yeah, and I think, but so then this is kind of, I don't know. I've had recent episodes have delved more into the process of science communication and all these kind of topics, and I always struggle at about this point in the episode where it starts to look really bleak. Like what's the point really? Because especially when you think about these big topics, like, and we just at the beginning touched on why it's going to reach a huge audience when you talk about raising kids or health. Health stuff is like Huberman, who's a neuroscientist, and now it's kind of the whole thing is like optimizing your health and like hacking the body and like all this. So there's tons of stuff going on there that is, I'd say, dubious, or at least we'll say unsettled
Right.
science, right?
Right.
Like you get one or two studies and it's like, okay, this looks good. But as we know, the process of science would take longer and longer and longer for these things to play out. So without having to explain that process, without being able to explain that process, like where do you go to find that audience to do that work, let's say, of explaining the process so you can get that little bit of knowledge? Because like you said, Twitter's not going to do it. You can go to the source, but I don't know. So it just feels like if that's the way that you have to sort of approach critiquing these things, but how do you get anybody to pay attention to that?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, what that requires is a long read, some in depth, and you need some really concrete examples of how science evolves. And people already know this. I mean, we were talking earlier about, the universe, and why is it so, why are images and ideas about the universe so compelling? The other day I was reading that if a certain way of treating quantum mechanics might show that time is an illusion. Okay, well, you know, if you looked at the equivalent statement in medical science, it would be pretty dramatic. It would be something like, you must never eat another potato for the rest of your life, or something like that. We've been wrong. Time is an illusion. But, saying that time is an illusion affects nobody. They still get up at 7 in the morning and have breakfast
Yeah,
and, go out and work or do whatever they do.
the train's still going to show up at 7:30 whether you're there or not. Yeah.
Exactly. It might be an illusion, but the train's going to be there anyway. Whereas, if you say you're eating all the wrong food, um, you know, that's something that hits people, and people don't like being told that what they're doing is wrong. And so, either people that sort of have an interest in um, the backdrop to that. We used to think this, then it evolved to this, and now we've come to that. I accept that. But people who haven't paid much attention and are being told that their diet is terrible are likely going to question the science. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I've thought about this quite a lot with the help of some other friends of mine about how to do the process of science, and I haven't yet hit on what would seem to be a good vehicle for that, because it comes back to you know the idea that those who already believe that or understand that science is a process and our ideas are inevitably going to change, are cool with that, and those who want to know whether the vaccine is 100% safe or not are not going to be cool with that. But, there's a huge amount of willful misunderstanding going on too.